is a running mate to the Labour Party presidential candidate. Senator Datti Ahmed joins me live here in our election studio. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure and duty.
You look a bit calmer today. I guess because you're not on the road.
I think I always look the same.
And then compared to when we see you on the podium.
Oh, well, then you're drawing the attention of Nigerians. So,
yeah. So how is it going for you?
It's going
your campaign?
Very well, to say the least. It's going super.
The steam that we see and the push that we're seeing on social media, is it meeting the expectation on the ground?
The one on the ground is superseding that on the social media, in reality, especially when we came to the north. What we saw in the north from when we started in Kaduna was completely what our opponents never thought will happen.
And what is that?
The turnout was huge. The quality of turnout was impressive. The conduct of the rallies, the aftermath of the rallies, the continued ripples that followed every rally that we said, the synthesis of the news, the information we gave out to Nigerians and how they reacted, how they believed us, how they walked with what we said. And you could see how our success unsettled the two other parties that have been struggling for the second position. And further actions they've been taking to try catch up, try pull us back. It's all from the successes that we have been recording. Labour Party on-ground performance actually is above social media performance.
Does it trump your expectations, though? Did you think that you were going to get that kind of following and that kind of response?
Honestly, it was slightly above what I thought, but it was far beyond how others were just playing us down. I knew that they were playing us down to their detriment. Yeah, but then the result turned out slightly better than what I expected.
I mean, but the turnout in most of the rallies are not exactly the same. Some of them, they are underwhelming, are they?
None was underwhelming, in reality. None was underwhelming.
You had your venues filled to capacity at every event?
Well, look at the venues. There are venues that, were oversized venues. For example, in a state like Kebbi, and we get the race course. Race course is where horses run, because the government wouldn't give us what we wanted. Now, we demarcate where exactly we think we will fail, and it is filled. However, I want to move away the thinking of Nigerians from filling a venue. How about filling the hearts of Nigerians, filling the hearts of those who fill the nation? I mean, everybody in the country is suffering from insecurity. That is an arena already filled. Everybody is feeling the pinch of Naira swap, corruption, failing infrastructure, and everything. These are all arenas filled. So look, what is there in just filling a space? Peter Obi and I are actually contesting 2023, but at the same time doing things differently. Because whoever does Nigerian election the same way, the same exact way, is about to fail. Yes, they've been deceiving Nigerians that were only on social media, so it became necessary just to show what we're worth. And believe me, we only gave a little out of our power in filling those venues.
All right. So
where we have actually been given a lot more not on filling the venues. We could fill 10 times more those venues. But then the import of it is less than educating Nigerians, drawing Nigerians to unite. Unite against ethnicity and religious politics. That is more important to us.
Mr. Datti, they remember the last time you and I were having a conversation in one of our studios here, and we were having a conversation around vote in the North. From at this time and compared to that time, has anything changed?
Yes.
What has changed?
We have women rising to the challenge now, more than we thought. We have the youth uniting, particularly in the deep north. I'm talking about in Sokoto, in Kano. I'm talking about in Bauchi, in Niger. The women in Niger were just too good for us. All over the north. Gombe was phenomenal. Adamawa was far beyond our expectations. We went to southern Adamawa, Numan, we went to Mubi, we went to southern Gombe, we went to southern Borno. The youth, the energy in the youth in southern Borno is nearly unbelievable. These are the things that have changed. And our politics, like, no one is really asking for money. They are simply asking, please remember us. Remember your promises. We just wanted to see you, to know that you're real, you're alive. That's all they wanted. We were there. All they wanted to see was just to see Peter Obi, hear a little from him, and then, look, just go ahead.
Yeah. I'm going to get to the
what has changed.
Yeah.
What has changed was that the northern Nigerian votes that were waiting to make up the difference, which either of the two other runner-ups were hoping to get, turned out that they are not getting it. The heavy punchers, Kano, for example, is now a watershed of what its votes used to be. In 2015, the 1.9 million votes, Kano, nobody can aspire to have that, which of course Buhari punched Jonathan with, the final blow. Nobody's going to get that in Kano. Kaduna, Katsina and the ungoverned spaces. Kaduna and the rise of the youth. My presence and the increasing awareness of uniting Nigeria. The non-indigens all over northern Kaduna State, in central Kaduna State, and all those things.
You think you're going to pull a lot of weight in Kaduna?
We have.
With the presence
we have pulled a lot of weight beyond the comprehension of the two runner-ups. We have. We're not that we're going. We have done it.
Well, I'm asking because you are from Kaduna State.
Yes.
And so you think that will also spur your people to come behind you?
Absolutely. Sure, look at it. During our campaigns, I've been saying this in arithmetic terms. Out of 18 political parties, 15 have more or less, fallen behind. They have actually fallen behind. Out of the 3, 2 have misconfigured themselves to be able to win an election in Nigeria. That leaves only one party standing, leaves only one team standing, Obi and his running mate. It is easy for everyone to see. This is the reality on ground in Nigeria. In today's world, it doesn't make sense.
So let's go into a few...
In today's Nigeria, that configuration, which I don't have to tell you what it is, does not give any semblance of justice. It is simply not right. You can't do that in today's world, in today's Nigeria. I mean, the people have advanced. Nigerian history has shown that power must rotate. 2 political parties have, A, misruled Nigeria for 24 years. B, have misconfigured themselves. C, have been unable to campaign on the real issues, except one party that is standing, Labour Party. This is as good as done. We're just waiting for the day. I'm not too confident. I never take things for granted. But now I believe more and more in Nigerians. I believe in the capacity of Nigerians to do the right thing.
Let's get into some of the issues, and I will touch on the capacity, because this is what is important. Anyone who wants Nigerians' votes as of today needs to prove his mettle and how he or she wants to rule this country. There are a few issues on the ground. The naira crisis that we're seeing, the fuel queues that we're seeing around the country. Has that impacted on your campaign in any sense?
In the last 1 week, the disgruntlement, the pain of Nigerians has, of course, added to the appeal of labor. However, we're quick to remind them that, look, labor is here for good. And our politics has been here ever since. Peter Obi and myself, our love for the progress of our country is not only when you have crisis, it has been our lives to serve Nigerians. What to think about now? For example, the leading news of today, that after 1 week, there will be no fuel scarcity. Who is that meant to deceive or impress? These are the kind of things that we don't encourage. Heaven was promised on earth in Nigeria 8 years ago, 12 years ago, 16 years ago, 24 years ago. We didn't see it. Less than 3 weeks to election, somebody comes out to tell you that in 1 week, which is 2 weeks to election, you will not see it. Come on, wake up. Nigerians, listen to what we've been telling you. Do not allow yourselves to be deceived anymore. Only one system faces Nigerians and discusses issues: the labor system. We never face, and I draw the attention of Nigerians that whoever stands to tell you that your security has improved does not mean well for you, for Nigeria, for your future. Now you do ways and means and clear out the fuel queues. What happens in June 2023 to February 2027? What happens then? And then another 1 week and another 1 month to election. The next GMD of NNPC will come and say that there will be no more fuel scarcity. This has to stop. We're stopping it now. And it will not happen again. It will not happen during our system. Not the way it is happening now. There will be teething problems. There will be initial, societal initial, administrative initial, political drawbacks, and all those. With time, we'll defeat them and we'll get Nigeria running.
There are being questions as to who can do what, who has a track record, how would they, whether or not the Peter Obi, Datti pair has what it takes to be able to rule Nigeria with the current situation, lead Nigeria in the present situation.
So others can rule, we will lead.
So do you have a solution? Assuming you got into office today, for example, the Naira crisis, the Naira swap controversy that is ongoing, what is the position of Obi Datti on that matter?
Currency swap is a sovereign matter. Buhari's government is a legitimate one. They were sworn on the Nigerian constitution and they have the powers to do it. However, they don't have the powers to put Nigerians under stress. That's the power that they don't have. They swore to promote our welfare and protect our lives and property. We cannot take away that power from them. And if a preceding government, an outgoing government changes currency, an incoming government to go and change another currency or take it back to the old one, we will just be overheating the system. Changing the currency is not what was promised Nigerians. Improved, stronger Naira was what Nigerians were promised. CBN found itself proliferating its responsibilities. Election and electoral matters have nothing much per se to do with CBN. CBN is monetary policy, not even fiscal policy that they've engaged in severally. So for CBN to engage in anything besides whatever CBN is to do regarding the currency has to be strictly economic, financial, and monetary, not electoral. Be that as it may, they've already done it. Our position is that when we come into power, we will move Nigeria, for example, from consumption to production. We will end fuel subsidy scam. We will end the multiple exchange rates. We will stabilize the Naira, try and improve the exchange rate of the Naira. We will seriously fight corruption to the barest minimum. We'll get Nigeria working. No more ASU strikes. Everything that we've been promising before now. Too many to list all of them now.
There are those who are also critical about the situation of the country and perhaps trying to...
You asked me about capacity. Indeed, if there is any team that has capacity, sorry to cut in, it is Obi Ahmed. I normally say that self-praise is an act of ignorance, but this is politics. If you don't say it, nobody will. You've asked me. We have the capacity to develop Nigeria. We have the capacity to rescue Nigeria. And Nigeria will never be the way it was for the better. We're going to change Nigeria for good. Why? Our records, only us that our records speak for ourselves. Look at the combination. Look at his records. Look at mine. He's been out of government for 8 years. No one has taken him to EFCC or any controversy per se as such against his name. He only keeps waxing stronger and stronger. I don't talk too much about myself, but see the relationship between myself and, even though I'm too small, of course, but the Buhari regime, anybody, someone told me, anybody who says 10% of what you say to the Buhari government would either have had his business taken away, he would either be in trouble, trumped up for one thing or another. But God so kind to me, I have been where I am up till today, because our records speak for us. We created wealth. We didn't make it in government. No, we didn't make it in government. We created it. We're still living on what we're able to make. The others do not. The others made their money out of government, their fortunes, their wealth out of government. It is stupendous. They cannot die and leave it. That is why they will spend that kind of money before they die to make sure they buy Nigeria. We're saying no. No governor has ruled for 8 years without borrowing. Peter Obi did. No governor left 75 billion naira 2014 value to his state. Peter Obi did. No governor refused to sign for him to collect money from his state. Peter Obi did. 360 members in 2006 were sold houses in Apple. I'm not saying that those who bought did wrong. I didn't agree with the principle. I didn't buy the house. Everything we tell you is there for you to go and verify. Nobody is talking about issues the way we're talking
So based
today.
on principles, you think you are better than the rest?
Look, with all humility, listen, with all humility, I have built 2 universities from scratch, from nothing. That's why I said, if out of government, I helped in educating 19,000 people, if I'm in government, I can help in educating 119 million. ASU will not be on strike. If Peter Obi can create the kind of businesses that he did out of government, when in government, expect 1,000 to 10,000 times more businesses from him. We have the ideas.
Yeah,
we have the energy.
Yeah.
We have the character. People trust. We have the commitment people can see. We have the compassion that people can touch and feel. We have the commitment that people can go and verify. We're different.
All right, let's take a pause here. We'll take some commercial break and we'll come back. We'll look at your chances. There are a lot of criticism. Those who said he saved money but he couldn't save people. He did this, he did not do that. We look at the capacity in comparison to all of the candidates on the bill, and we'll come back and discuss with Senator Datti Ahmed, the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party. And we're back. Stay with us, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Senator Datti Ahmed, vice presidential candidate to Peter Obi of the Labour Party, is being our guest on the program tonight. Thank you so much indeed for coming. There are a few words that are being used to describe yourself and your principal, largely your principal. Things like he cannot keep promise, he's ill-equipped, he saved money, not the people. These are questions on the capacity which, the conversation which we began earlier. And there are a lot of promises that are usually being made on the podium during campaigns. But the reality is when you get into power, the dynamics are totally different. With the debt burden that the nation presently carries is reflective in the budget of this year. There must be an out-of-the-box thinking. Is there something that is out of the box that we have not heard before that you and your principal have in the offing?
Not only is there, are there, and yes, there are. But having come so far and having chosen to maintain all that we have put forward now, we would continue campaigning with what we have put forward, improve security, unite Nigeria, improve the economy, stabilize the currency, the scam on subsidy, exchange rate, and everything. We have tools at our disposal, and these are, like I have said in the first part of our records. We promise, we deliver. I have said it before. Talk is cheap, talk is easy. Listening is risky on the side of the people. Believing is even dangerous. It behoves on the listener to trace back the history and records of who the speaker is, and entirely your responsibility to determine, is this team able to deliver what they said? This is what Nigerians are going to do on 25th February. We have records. Peter Obi's name is well known. Where he came from is well known. Schools he attended, well known. Age is well known. Records are not in doubt whatsoever. The same applies to me. Nothing is in doubt. No international controversy, no court, international criminal court or international criminal case against us. What has been following us? One business name after another business name after another business name. People can always construe out of anything. The people can call white black. They are not asking questions on Peter Obi or me. Those people are putting questions against themselves. What are their motives for asking such questions? Good people are in short supply in a political system like ours. Where do you find the likes of Peter Obi? They come once in a generation.
But it's, so some will argue that why do you think that Peter Obi is suddenly so different? He was the running mate in 2019 to the PDP.
Good question. Can I give you an answer?
Go ahead, please.
Good. Why is he different? Because in 2022, he left PDP. He left his ambition in PDP because he could no longer tolerate the commercial nature of PDP. And this was like 24 hours after I did the same. There is always a point in time where you can tolerate so much. It gets to one point that, look, it can't happen anymore. One thing in life is that when you can do, you do. When you can't do but you can say, you say. When you can't even say, you can only lament in your mind, you do. This is what is happening. It got to a point when in 2022, Peter Obi could no longer just be lamenting, he could act. So he acted and left the commercial PDP. This is a political party that led Nigeria for 16 years and had power taken away from it. They promised to be reformed, but when the primaries began, it was worse than before. There is no way any party that behaves this way, no way absolutely that they can ever fight corruption.
It takes me back to my initial question.
Yeah.
We are in a tough place,
Yes.
a rocky place as
Yes.
a people.
Yes.
Beyond the promises, Nigerians want to be assured that you really have the solution. Where will you get the money to run the country? How will you hit the ground running? You say that you want to take Nigeria from consumption to production. That will take some time. What is your timeline? Where would you get the money? What is the creativity that you are bringing on board?
In the first 100 days, by the time we sort the problem of subsidy scam, and we're able to deploy Nigeria's wasted funds into healthcare and education, you'll begin to feel it. That my principle that I've been speaking about forever, about fair procurement, you will see that the money that Nigeria has already is achieving more, is delivering more. Infrastructure, security, public service, health, education, in everything, because we have removed, I repeat, from day one, we're announcing that we have removed personal, political, and group interest from Nigerian financial affairs. That delivers more. Does that begin to answer your question?
Go ahead, please.
Right. That more than multiplies what is delivered to Nigerians. Our moves on security, when we said that we're going to dialogue, which is a very, very short, we dialogue after that, we'll make them understand there's only one sovereign power in Nigeria. We move on with it. When Nigerians can move freely in their country, that air of liberty, you're already adding. When we begin to meet our OPEC quota, when we block out all leakages in internal revenue collection and all is trapped and used judiciously, you would be having the kind of money that you start all the projects we talk about.
Do you envisage some pushback? The system will push back.
They will push back, we beat them.
I mean, do you envisage the possibility that your party, should you win the election, your party may not have a majority in the National Assembly?
Yes.
Do you envisage it? How are you going to play around that?
Look, the presidency is an organ in the arm of government. It is the top organ in the executive arm of government. It has enormous powers. It is not a legislative matter to meet Nigerian OPEC quota. We don't need to go to the National Assembly to meet that. To resolve the issue of security, it's only the budget we send there. And our budgets are going to be radically different.
What will be different in your budget?
Waste.
Like what?
Waste like what I've been telling you, subsidy scam. That's a major, major one.
But this government of the day has already said, by law, actually, by execution of time, subsidy will end about the mid of this year.
Yeah.
That is almost statutory.
After it has gone for how many decades? Or for how many years? After it has gone on for how many years?
Well, like, what kind of cost of governance are you hoping to cut? For example, that we've had governments, politicians in these countries say, if we get into office, we cut down on the fleet in the planes in the presidential fleet. We've seen very tough statements being made, but when they get into power, there's a different kettle of fish entirely.
Yes.
When they talk about cutting cost of governance, what exactly does the Peter Obi Datti really think about cutting cost of governance?
Right. If you want me to go that, forgive my language, that low, Peter Obi and I, okay, we have had these luxuries even before we came to power. So they mean nothing to us. I try to avoid speaking on what I don't have the total control over. If I were to have total, and Peter Obi as well, total control over the PAF, Presidential Air Fleet, it will not exist when we're there, the way you see it today. Maintaining the presidential villa, the amount of money spent there will not happen like that. These unnecessary long convoys, unnecessary travels and fleet, and the number of people that come, security votes and all those kind of things, they will not happen under ours. I can tell you this for sure. To what extent, I don't want to be wrong.
If you and your principal say you will not be going to all of these many trips, what about people in government? What about the civil service?
That is why I told you that from the budget we submit. Remember, I'm into education. So I would like all those headings for foreign trips and conferences and their likes and the extra costs that go along with them. I would like them sensibly reduced and those monies spent in Nigeria. That is how we're going to address the budget. Miscellaneous, contingency of miscellaneous of contingency, all those kind of things will go. But something that is really not being understood, and I want to really reiterate it now. When Peter Obi and I announced and effect the fact that we have removed all personal, group, and political interests from the procurement of Nigerian governance, you have already multiplied by a high factor what is coming to Nigerians. That is good governance. No government has done it before. We are ready to do it on 29th of May.
Let's wrap up this way. There are a lot of your friends who have supported your ambition. What will be their lot when you get into power?
Good governance. That's it.
You will fence them out?
Sorry?
You will fence them out?
I don't fence friends out. Don't change my lifestyle. The way I was before I became rep member or senator is how I've always been. When I become a vice president, inshallah, I'll remain the same. If I see you, I'll recognize you. But you will not touch government money. That's it. If you have the industry, the enterprise, I will help you. Whoever you are, I don't know you, friend, relative, better not relative. You are a Nigerian and you can stand for yourself. There will be no wealth without enterprise, according to Peter Obi. And I totally agree with him. That's the right way to put it. I was looking for the long way to put it. He says, no wealth without enterprise.
On the final note,
okay.
Senator Datti,
yes.
Should you and Peter Obi lose this election, would you have a try again?
We try not to speak so much about things not under our control. Remember, when in June 2022, when I withdrew from the governorship contest under PDP in Kaduna State, and I walked away from them, on the grounds that they were selling votes, I never thought I would accept to be vice presidential candidate. However, to answer your question, I am worried that if Nigeria does not get the right leadership, don't get me wrong, the right leadership that will rescue Nigeria in 2023, you may look around and not find Nigeria the way it is.
And what is right leadership?
Sorry?
What is the right leadership?
The right leadership are those who will rescue Nigeria, and there's only one team right now who will rescue Nigeria, Obi, Baba Ahmed. And I'm very serious about it because it is true. It is real and present danger that we're toiling with.
All right. Senator Datti Ahmed, running mates to Peter Obi, the candidates and the flag-bearers of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential race. Thank you so much indeed for coming on tonight.
Pleasure.
I appreciate it.